everyone, in this video we'll see how to use basic commands and how do you make basic iterations in 3ds Max. So first we'll see how we can make a building and twist it and give a bending effect. So basic thing is go to create, and most of your basic shapes will be found in the standard primitives. Let's say we have a box, click on 2 points and then just drag your cursor up and you create a box. And on the box you can still give a definitive height and width, let's say 50 meters by 50 meters, and then the height of the structure could be maybe 150 meters. So this is our building. Let's assume it's a building and we want to see different towers, floor heights. So length, number of segments in length, let's keep it standard for all the sides, 5, and towers, number of floors could be maybe 10. Yes. Now this is a building and we want to twist the entire building. So from here, once you create the base, the next step onwards in changing the element starts from modify. So in modify, you can find multiple functions and control elements. So the first one that we're trying is twist. Twist, as the word says itself, it will fix on one axis and turn. By default it's in X, so in the blue axis direction it is going to twist. In case we don't need that, let's say we want to twist it in Y, which is in red axis, so it will twist in red axis. And then in X it's the horizontal one, so it will twist like this. So you have an option to twist it in different ways. Let's keep it at 0 for everything. This is one command, and another command is bend. In this, the entire building or the block will bend in a very flexible way, and it keeps bending until you stop it. So similar to the command twist, it can still bend it in 3 axes as well, and that's the advantage of having multiple different commands where everything will have controls in axes and points and the entire form of it. So after twist and bend, let's try taper. Let's not have the bend like this, let's delete that and let's try taper. Taper is the base will be wider and the top will be thin, so basically in the concept of a cone. So let's see, we give a number. In positive number, if you give, it goes outwards from the base shape. Let's say we want to give minus, then it goes inside. That is the difference. Let's see if it's 0. Let's say it's increasing like this. So that is the effect. And even when you keep having multiple commands, you can still go back to your first basic one, the box, which had length, width, height, and segments. You can still play around with it. You can still increase or decrease the values that you have given, and it will still remember the commands that you have done. Now that we are done with twist and tapering, let's try something called array. In this, it's easier to multiply things. You have an option to either follow a grid format or a radial or spline. Let's keep it grid and try out a few options. You get to copy multiple things in 3 axes. In x-axis, let's give 3. Offset is the gap between each. let's keep it 2, and then spacing maybe 2, and then in y-axis let's keep it 3, and then the spacing also same 2, and then z is on top, that's, let's keep it 2, or maybe, yeah, let's keep it 2 and give the gap is also as 2. So this is what happens in a grid. In the same numbers, let's see what happens if you give radial. There are all these counts there, but it's, let's see if we can make it 2. It's just 1. It's 3. There are 3 things here. It's just, you have to increase the radius of the radials. Let's give it 5. It is still there, but you just can't see it because the radius is too small. So like this you can copy in multiple sections as well. Let's start with making a base with rectangle. Make it like this, and now the base is done. From now on we'll move to modify. In this, search a spline offset. In this you can give an outline or like a thickness and give maybe 5, looks like a wall thickness. And then there are 2 ways to add walls to this. Either do extrude and give 200 or whatever height you need, which is hollow, only the frame is made solid. And then to this you can still add the segments of multiple segments. Another way is without extrude, go to bevel, and then again, so I give it maybe 200. And then an option in this is you can add on next level and you can give it an outline, like let's say 50 meter in next level, and for outline give it 5, or let's say 100. Sorry, not this one. Outline has to be 50. And then in level 3 it will increase up to 50, and then outline maybe minus 25. So that's another way to include thickness to the form. Now let's see how do we copy things. Let's go to this tool move, and then hold on to your shift button and move in your green, blue or red axis. The minute you do that, this comes down, called as clone options, which gives you an option to either copy, instance or reference. So we'll see how these 3 work. Let's cancel. Sorry. Yeah, so now this building, let's make it smaller. 0, 0, 0, 0. Let's just keep this much. Okay. Instead of the block, let's just work on the cone. Okay. Yeah, to copy it now, go to the tool move and hold on to shift and move it. Now that you do that, it shows copy. Let's name this as copy option 1. And let's even try to add text now. Go to text and go to your modify, type what you want to keep here. Original. Reduce the size to 20. Yes, this should be fine. Okay, let's rotate it this way maybe. Yeah, this should be fine. this is our original, and again shift button and then move it to the right direction and name this as copy text, and again in this modified type it as copy. Now again click on this. Another way to get the clone option is click on the object and right click in your mouse and go to clone. Now you either do instance or reference. Let's do instance. Instance. You can't see it because it's already overlapping on that. With arrow, move it outside. Let's copy the text. With shift, move it. And then give it a text as instance. And then again select clone and reference. Let's see the difference between all of this now. Again move it. Instance name to be changed into reference. Okay, now that we have 4 types of models, we'll see what or how it can change. So this one has taper and twist effect. Let's delete the twist. If you see, it didn't affect on anything else. Let's undo this and let's reduce the taper. Okay, let's do some changes to this. If you see, if you move or do any command to the original, instance and reference does have the same effect. So it's the cloned, exact clone copy of that. But for copy, it becomes irrespective of anything that you do. It becomes an individual entity which is not connected to anything. So if you change original, instance and reference change. If you change copy, let's say you're doing anything that you want, nothing changes because this is an individual person now. Let's say instance. What happens if we do it here? It still has an effect on reference and original, so it's still acting like original. Whatever happens to original happens to instance. Whatever happens to instance does happen to original. For reference, now the thing about reference is that when you select it and change the twist, it's still changing and acting like instance and original, but it has the power to not act like it as well. If you see, there is a thick line here uh, which is not there for instance, original or copy. The thing is, for reference, you can segregate the command. The minute you do like this, that says that under the line, all whatever command is there, that's there from original, but the twist is separate from that. So when you twist it, it's only for that. It's not happening for any other copy. But if you put that command underneath, then everything is linked. So the minute you recognize this line and add or put your commands above it, these two things becomes command only for this model, not for this, even though it was done before, it was removed now. And if you put the twist down again, all of it is twisting. So reference has that unique quality to segregate the commands from its original model. So that's one of the unique properties of reference. Thank you for watching.